Hello, everybody. My name's Matt.
And I'm Maggie.
And we are...
Hopefully awesome.
That's right, a positive place on the internet where we nerd out about all the geeky things we love. Today, it's Smallville Day. We're talking about Smallville, Maggie. The fifth time.
It starts with an S.
1/100th of the way through.
A 5 looks like an S.
That's right, Maggie. 5 does look like an S. Yeah, hey, if this is your first time checking us out, be sure and hit that thick sub button. Like, you can also follow us on all the things and head over to Patreon where you can get an extended version of this episode. What do we talk about this week? You'll have to go look to find out. Maybe we looked at this, the discs in front of us. Maybe we talked about other things. Who knows? The patrons.
Maybe
do.
Maggie sang the song. You don't know.
Was Scooby-Doo involved?
Oh, that also starts with an S.
Is this the S episode? Well, Silly Sally Salamander. Oh yeah, if you can't tell.
We're not twins.
Doug Butabi, Steve Butabi. Your brothers?
No. Yes. Yeah. He's like
yeah, well, you weren't there for the 5. A 5 looks like an S.
I've been with kindergartners all day.
So yeah, we're wearing the same shirt.
Wow, man.
Oh no.
And yeah,
should we just
we're wearing the same shirt?
Here's a new pact. We're gonna wear the same shirts every episode until we forget to do it.
Next
week,
week
we'll
that
forget to do it.
Paddington
Twitter account.
No, I'll make him forget somehow. He'll be looking through. What did I wear last week?
Like Men in Black?
Where did I wear last week?
Yeah, and I'll see what you're wearing, and I'll be like, oh yeah, we're supposed to wear the same shirts until we forget.
And I'll be like, oh, and guess what? You don't have this shirt.
Are you gonna burn it?
No, I'm gonna hide it.
No. We're gonna wear these shirts.
What, these?
These shirts.
But I have a Funko Pop Superman.
These shirts until we forget.
What about Batman?
No. These shirts until we forget.
Man.
Yeah, it's like Paddington. Or maybe until the end of season 1. If we remember that long. I have a feeling we're going to forget.
We'll forget.
We probably will. But hey, you know what we won't forget about, Maggie?
Watching Smallville.
That's right. Because we're going back to Smallville. That's a good segue, wasn't it? Hey, it's gonna be a ride tonight, people. Let me tell you. Smallville, season 1, episode 5. Cool. Is the episode. Original air date November 6, 2001. Written by, is that Michael?
Yeah, you looked it up last night, Michael Green.
I know I looked it up, but I didn't know if it was Michael or Michelle. I get them mixed up.
It's Michael.
Michael Green, directed by James A. Cotner. Synopsis. Clark confronts a cold-blooded Casanova who has a permanent case of hypothermia, especially when he tries to cuddle up to Chloe for her body heat. That's it.
What?
Yeah. So,
Read that out of your TV guide.
What'd you think of Smallville season 1 episode 5? Cool.
It was weird. I think it was weird. I don't know.
Weirder than Bug Guy?
No, not weirder than Big Bug Guy. Like, it's better. Like,
you know what it reminded me of?
What?
Remember that? You probably don't, but you remember that one episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Where there's the ghost boy. And, like, he's dead. Because he's a ghost.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I'm cold. And the other little boy's like, oh my god, it's a ghost. Oh my god. And then, like, you know, he leaves or whatever. And they're like, I swear it's like a ghost. And then they're like, no, you didn't. And then the kid comes back and he goes, I'm cold. And then I guess like the kid, I'm trying to remember. I think the kid died in the woods or something.
Oh my God!
And, like the uncle or grandfather killed him or something. But like he hid his coat. I mean, he hid his coat. I don't know why, but he hid his coat. And so the kid that's seeing the ghost, right, finds the coat and then gives the coat to the ghost, and he's like, "Thanks," and moves on. Like that's what he that's what he needed.
Butterfly in the sky. I could go twice as high.
Why reading Rainbow?
Because I'm doing all these equations of what you just told me. This kid hid the jacket, but then yet he got out the jacket.
No, the uncle that murdered the kid hid the jacket. God. I'm assuming, I don't know. That's probably not part of it. Oh my God. But like they hid the coat.
Sounds so bad for a kid.
They hid the coat
to watch.
They hid the coat, and then the kid found the coat, and then gave the coat to the dead kid. And the dead kid was like, "Thanks, I'm not cold anymore." Like he zipped it up, and he wasn't blue, like he'd been blue the whole time, because he was cold.
Blue.
Dabba dee dabba da. Yeah. And is that Leanne Rimes?
Yes.
Then the kid zips up the coat and moves on. I always thought it was funny because I had a coat just like it. It was one of those like big, you know, those coats that they're like big puffy and like they're not soft. It's like they're nylon, but like they're a hard nylon. Like if you're not careful, it's like soft, like how a saltine cracker is soft. Okay, like it's not soft. It's like, you know, if you accidentally like spilled pudding on it, like it would just come right off. Like it was slick.
So it's waterproof?
No. It was just the material it was made could not absorb anything.
Well, Matt, sounds like you as the ghost kid.
I am cold.
A hug.
This is weird. All right. That was weird. That was a bad tangent. I'm sorry. Outside party.
I'm tired.
Maggie, let me tell you about Smallville season 1, episode 5. Cuckoo. And I'll be happy.
No. Oh, we can't go down that tangent.
Fire.
Come on.
All right. Outside party. Almost read something else. So, we join Clark and Chloe pulling into the woods, right? Passing a little sign called Crater Lake. Down in the bottom of this lake.
A state park, by the way.
Park. Only you can prevent forest fires. So we get out and, you know, there's just all these teenagers just having premarital sex, right? They're just making out.
Making out. There's a bonfire going.
Fully clothed. Just... And I'm pretty sure I saw Lana, but then I don't think it actually was Lana, but I swear I thought it was Lana. And then, you know, Chloe and Clark are like, "All right, well, we're here, Chloe. Isn't this where you wanted to be?" And Chloe's like, "Yep." And so, I don't know.
At a high school party. No, they're picking up Petey.
They're picking up Petey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're picking him up because he's trying to get a lady.
He's still in the football team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, Chloe's like, nothing like a high school party out in the middle of nowhere where somebody's bought illegal alcohol and it's just everybody just flocks to that because there's alcohol and it's for free. Right. And everybody's here.
And while Clark's pining over Lana, who should show up but Sean?
God, Sean.
Sean. Mother flipping Sean. All right. He walks over and says, "Hey, Chloe, I can see you're kind of cold there. You want me to rub your hands together?" And he's like,
"Oh," he's like, I heard that creating friction can keep you warm.
Barf. And Chloe's like, "Hey, here's my number."
And Clark's like, "You gave Sean your number?" And
she's like, "He's kind of cute, man.
He's kind of hot, but I just thought I'd give him the phone number so he'd just leave me alone."
And then right when Sean was about to make a move, good old reliable Whitney comes barreling through the football.
Man, Whitney!
Like, "Hey, who wants the in. And Sean's like, and so they go down to Crater Lake. And Whitney just throws it 300 yards, right? So Sean takes off running. He's sprinting across this frozen lake. And they're like, bye, Sean. I gotta go kiss on Lana. And Sean's like, no worries. And then he falls and drowns.
And nobody realizes
Nobody cares about Sean.
Because everybody was too drunk to realize that he was gone.
Right. And so the night passes, and then nobody else is there and then there was Sean.
Sean busts through
that episode of Boy Meets World, and then there was Sean.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Scream episode.
Okay.
Which is kind of more like, I know what you did last summer, but still. And I'm not quite sure what the meaning of the two Seans.
Why are you whispering?
Because I digress. So Sean then goes and still hanging out at the Crater Lake.
Yeah.
You know, there's
morning.
In the morning, there's still a fire.
There's still a fire burning in a state park. Littered the state park.
Maggie,
Freaking teenagers.
Maggie, it's the old South. All right.
They're not in the South.
And they're playing football, all right? You ever seen Friday Night Lights? These football players, they do whatever they want, all right? And the cops, they ain't caring as long as they score them touchdowns and they keep those crows a-cawing. Oh! They don't care what they do, okay? So Sean, he comes walking up, he's like, I'm cold. He sees the fire, right? He's like, oh, yeah. And then the fire turns to ice. What? And then, somebody save me.
And then we see Clark shrink away again.
That's true. And I forgot about that. I forgot about it until you reminded me. And then I'm
like, oh, watch him. He'll be gone before you know it. Shrinks away.
There it was. So we come back from the opening credits, of course. Clark, Martha, and Jonathan hanging out at the old farm. The old Kip farm. Breakfast. Clark grabs his Pop-Tart and his jug of milk. He's like, I'm going to do math. So they're like, quick, Clark, what's 2 + 3? And he says 7. Drinks the milk. Like, good job, Clark. Good job.
Apparently Clark is really good at math.
Yeah, speed math. And so
and he's overheard his parents talk about like thousands of dollars in debt they are, and he comes down the steps and magically adds all these numbers together.
Well, that's the question, right? Like, is super math one of his powers? Like, because if he has speed, right?
Yeah.
Then his brain can process quicker, right? That makes sense, right? Right?
But what if you lack the confidence in like adding those large numbers together?
The confidence in adding it together?
Yes.
Like if he's shy about it?
Well, like, shut up, okay, and listen to me.
And the competence? I'm just trying to understand.
Like, there's some people, they know how to do it. They understand how. But yet, they second guess themselves when they do this certain skill. So
Clark doesn't second guess himself, all right? If there's one thing Clark knows how to do, it's math, all right?
I was going to say, he keeps on second guessing himself around Lana.
Clark was 8, and he was like, which way it is to my line? Like, no, go patch your fence, Clark. And throw him a jug of milk. And so, the Kents are in debt. Wouldn't you know it? And so Clark heads on to school, and they try. He's with Pete. These are my notes, by the way. Just so everybody, those are the pre-show. I have notes this week. So Pete and Chloe and Clark, they're just walking along, you know, Stand By Me's playing. And they're like, we all need to get dates. Clark, why don't you date Chloe? And Chloe's like, I'm not a piece of meat for you to just test out your dating skills on. Why don't you go date Lana if you're so into her? Blah.
Yeah.
And then they get to school, and I don't know what they do at school. I'll be honest. I don't know if they do anything at school.
No.
So then we go back to the farm. They probably say something. And then, so we go back to the farm, and Martha's got a chainsaw, and she's cutting some wood, right? And Lex is there, and he's like, I come in peace.
And Martha about chopped him in half.
That's why you don't sneak up on somebody with a chainsaw.
No, you walk around.
All right, I learned it the hard way. You don't sneak up on somebody with a chainsaw. It was a haunted corn maze. They were trying to scare me, but I scared them first. And so Lex begins to tell Martha, he says, Martha, let me tell you, all right, I got all these people coming over. I need 40 artichokes. I need those for this party, because I'm throwing a party for all the farmers, and I'm going to make some investments. We're gonna make Smallville not so small anymore. And he's like, Martha, maybe Jonathan with you. I might learn a thing or two about saving this old crap farm of yours. And she's like, whatever, I'll get the artichokes for you before Jonathan chokes you out. And then Lex leaves, right? So,
I'm just letting him be, y'all.
So we go to
see
Lana.
How far down the rabbit hole we
got
go.
to Lana, right? Lana's at the coffee shop, and she's just like curled up in a little book, just drinking her little coffee, and it's in one of those big old mugs, like what you'd see Monica or Rachel drinking out of, right? And so she's just sitting there with a book, and then who should show up but old cue ball himself, Lex Luthor. And he says, "Oh, what you reading there, Lana?" And she probably tells him the name of the book, and then he says, "You should be with Clark instead of Whitney."
He says, "You trying to get culture?" And she said, "Well, actually, tomorrow I'm going to Metropolis with Whitney, and we're going to go to museums and blah 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 blah."
And he said, "Oh, so, you're dragging the jock to the museums, right?" And she was like, "No, it was his idea." And he's like, "Oh, so." One day at museums gets him off the thing for 6 months. She's like, "What's your deal?" Lex?
Well, there's someone out there that you should be with.
He said, I quote, "Wrong guy. I think you're with the wrong guy."
I think you're with the wrong guy.
And Lana's like, "Huh?
Yeah.
Wrong guy." And then old
Whitney comes in.
Good old Whitney comes barreling.
Listen, I can't tell you how many times. I can't even count it on my fingers and toes. I've been done this way. You have plans made. You look forward to it. You've maybe spent money. Maybe you looked forward to this for weeks.
Looking for a Ferris Bueller style day off, if you will.
And Whitney comes in and he says, me and the boys are going to go watch pay-per-view fight. And she said, "Well, I thought we was going to Metropolis." And he said, he gave him my money.
Yeah, he's like, "I gotta get pizza and beer, woman."
He gave him my money. And she's like, "So we're not going to Metropolis because you already gave them your money?" No.
Big mistake.
Don't do that crap. No. If you've already promised this in advance, don't ditch her. You already made her feel like crap.
This is why I put all of my plans inside Google Calendar. That way, I never have anything like this.
They didn't have that back then.
Me and Maggie, we share a calendar. That way, I always know if she's got bus duty, and she always knows when I have to go
take a crap.
I haven't scheduled, all right?
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I thought it was funny. I'm joking. So then we see Clark. He's just walking down the street. He's like, drinking milk. Yeah.
Again, he's skipping down the sidewalk again.
Walking down, twirling his pocket watch, right? His suit.
So Lex comes out of the coffee shop. Lex is like, "Oh, hey, Lana's in there." And Clark's like, "Oh, really?"
"Oh, Lana."
And Lex is like, "I got these 2 Radiohead tickets."
Radiohead. He's like, I think almost Martha. He's like, "I think Lana might be free tomorrow night."
Yeah, Lana's free tomorrow night. No, he just straight up tells her.
And he says, free. "Clark, the hardest thing in this world is telling the girl you love that you like her." Which is very, very true. So
karate
he says,
chop you.
if you act within the next 60 seconds, I'll throw in a limo ride. And Clark goes, well, gee Wallikers likes, I'll do it.
And Clark just rushes on in there with those tickets.
Hey, Lana.
Hey, Lana. Hey, Lana. I've got these tickets to a show.
Does he say Radiohead?
Surely I think he does. I think he does.
In
Metropolis, he does throw that in there. And he says, I was wondering if you'd like to go with me, but as friends.
Right.
He does say that.
He leaves it for a second. He's like, I want to know if you want to go with me. And then she hesitates.
Yeah.
Not long, though. Like, he only gave her like 2 seconds. And he's like, oh, it's friends. Like, dude, give it a second. All right, take a beat. Wait till she says no.
Oh.
Then say, well, it's just his friends.
I just remembered something else Lex tells him before when he gave him the tickets. He said, she's not married.
Oh, yeah, he's like, Lex, she's got a boyfriend. He says, high school boyfriend is not married or something to that effect.
He's like, dude, she's not married. Just go for it. It's true.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
But there's
what? It's
I don't know.
high school.
It's weird.
It's not weird. Here's the thing.
Because he's a loyal person too, and he doesn't want to mess up somebody's relationship like that.
Everybody, come over here for a second. All right, we're gonna let Maggie stay over here. Listen, here's the deal. All right, itsy bitsy spider. Here's the deal. Okay, high school doesn't matter. Okay, you either graduate or you don't. And then one day we're all 6 feet in the ground, you know? So I say, just do it. All right, let's go.
Was it over with?
I don't know. I
did the whole song.
Did you really?
Yes.
No, honestly though, like, in my opinion, like, okay, in a perfect world, everything would be Corey and Topanga. All right. You'd meet your soulmate when you're freaking 2 months old. Okay. This is not the real world. In the real world, snitches get stitches. Okay.
And also, in the real world, a dude wouldn't make a girl not take her dream job.
What are you talking about?
Corey and Topanga.
No, it's college. It's college. She gave up Harvard.
I thought it was her job.
No, it was Harvard. They leave. That's how the series ends. They leave to go to New York for Topanga's job.
Okay.
I forget what it is. But no, like, I get it. It's a show. There has to be, like, it has to be dramatic, right? But no, it doesn't matter. Honestly, because I watched this when I was in high school, and I wish I'd had a clearer understanding that this crap doesn't matter, right? Like, you're not married. And I'm not saying you should cheat on people. Like, you need to be open and honest. It's all about communication, right? And if you date somebody in high school for like 2 dates, or even if you've been together, but you start to realize, oh, hey, we're different people. We're only 14. Maybe we don't really know what love is. You know, you grow apart, and that's okay. You should be okay with that, right? You don't have to make it work just because you're dating for 2 months. Like, you don't have to make it work for the next, 45 years of your life because this is the first person that gave you a second look. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I had known that, right? So, like, Lex, honestly, like, in the moment, I would have disagreed. But now that I'm, 35 and looking back, like, no, I completely agree. Like, Clark obviously has feelings for Lana. Whitney is a huge douchebag. Like, Lana should give Clark a chance. And, again, what they do later on where they don't tell Whitney and stuff, that's
problematic.
But still, like, no, you shouldn't be held down. I guess that's all I'm trying to say. It's like, it's high school. It's not marriage. You're going to allow yourself to grow as people, to become the people you want to be. Don't just be stuck in a stupid relationship that you're not supposed to be in. That's it. That's my 2 cents. All right. Now back to Smallville. So,
cha-ching.
Let's see. After this, Clark asks, she says yes. And then we go to outside the school, and Clark's like, I got a date with Lana. And Pete's like, I've got a date too. And Chloe's like, I don't know what happened to Sean.
He never called.
Yeah. And then, Sean shows up.
Sean shows up.
He says, hey, Chloe, you want to go Make out in the back of my van. I have no idea what he drives.
No, he says something to her, and then he stops in his tracks. He's like, Jenna, his ex-girlfriend. What?
No. He says, do you want to go out?
Oh.
And she's like, I don't know. And then he sees Jenna and he goes away.
Yeah.
She's like, I was playing barely hard to get. And like, what do we do? He's like, Jenna. So I don't know why that's how he talks now. So then, him and Jenna, they go back home, start taking a shower separately. I don't know.
No. She's like, Sean, is that you?
Yeah, she's in the shower.
Yeah, she said, I've been waiting for you. I thought you'd like to take a shower. Yeah, so she's waiting on him with all these freaking candles all around the place, waiting for the house to be lit up.
And then Sean opens the curtain, and he's bloodshot eyes. He goes, I'm cold. And he grabs the shower head, and it starts snowing on her. And I'm like, oh man, Mr. Freeze is here. This is crazy. And then he kills her.
He turns her into an ice cube,
a popsicle, a gensicle,
and he lets go of her, and she shatters.
You don't see it because they didn't have the budget, but she shattered. All right, just like the evil T-1000 at the end of that movie. All right, but then he melted back and reformed. So what are you gonna do?
Terminator 2.
So, yeah.
You said some movie.
Well, so they had to play along and try to figure it out. Didn't want to give away the farm, Maggie. Hey, speaking of farms, we go back to... I don't want to
give away the farm.
We go back to the old Kent farm and old Jonathan Kent. He's sitting at the table cleaning his carburetor from his old motorcycle.
And Martha's like, I wish you wouldn't. I know you ride that bike, but I wish you would fix the parts inside the house.
And he's like, Martha, I have to ride this bike, Martha.
He said,
I can't ride the horses. Scream, Martha! They scream when I try and ride them. I gotta ride this motorcycle so I can get the screaming horses out of my head.
And he says, Martha, if I didn't do this, you wouldn't have anything to fuss at me about.
Marriage.
And she's like, "Hey, I think we should
go to Lexus.
Let's go to Lexus and listen to what he says."
Been nothing but
he
good
says he wants
baby.
to invest in the farmers. He wants to help us out.
Daddy ain't been nothing but good.
And Jonathan's like, "I don't like him." And she's like, "You don't like his father."
Yeah. Never trust a Luthor.
And she's like, "You don't have to like him. You just need to listen."
And then Clark comes speeding in, and he's like, "Hey, Mama and Papa.
I have a date tonight. I have a date with Lana Lang.
Oh, my God.
And I'll go get ready for the date."
They're like, "What? You got a date with Lana?"
Yeah.
All right. Take it down a notch. And so then he's like, "Well, how'd you get tickets to Metropolis?" And he's
Lex.
Lex. Oh, well, Mr. Luthor has got all our nights, our evenings planned for us. Martha's like, "Womp womp." He's like, "But I guess we'll give it a shot anyway."
Yeah.
So then we cut over to Sean, and he's cold
again.
He's got out his little old black book and a blanket. He's
got the matches, and they turn to ice
just to feel the sting, so he feels alive. And then he calls. He's like, "Oh, but baby, we were good, so good, baby." They're like, "No." He's like,
go
fudge.
find somebody else to be with.
And then Sean's just like, "Oh, what am I gonna do? I'm so cold." And he looks at his hand. Whose number? Chloe's.
Clark's.
Now, cut to back at Clark's house.
Chloe's
there, and the phone rings. And it's Sean.
But yet, we are questioning this.
What phone did he call?
Whose phone did he call?
Because it's not a cell phone. It doesn't look like a cell phone. It looks like a home phone.
Yeah, it looks like a cordless phone.
So did he call Chloe's and then find out that Chloe was at Clark's and then call Clark's to try and find Chloe? And then why did Chloe answer? There's a lot of things here. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like house etiquette. And so Clark's like, "Who was that?" And she's like, "Well, it was Sean. Me and Sean.
I'm gonna meet him.
I told him I got to put the torch to bed. And so he can bring me a coffee if he likes. And so he's like, well, all right, which should I wear?
And you're supposed to be giving me dating help.
Yeah, and she's
Fashion
like,
help.
you should burn that shirt. And she said, here, wear this one. Blue is a good color on you. A wink. He said, Mama, baby, don't do no wrong. And so he gets...
He doesn't talk to me like this, ever. He doesn't sweet talk me like that, ever.
So then...
Don't worry.
Martha and Jonathan walk into the lion's den itself, Lex Luthor's mansion. And they walk in and they see, oh, there's a couple of guys here. We got a DJ booth. DJ Tanner's hanging out and spinning some fat beats. And they're like, where's everybody else? And Lex like, huh? And John's like, I don't think anybody else was invited, Martha. This here's a setup. And then Lex is like, you got me red-handed, Mr. Kemp, but I just figured you wouldn't come if I told you any other way. So,
there's Lex with the pot of tea, just
like,
pouring and drinking.
Oh, yeah, you
some
didn't
scotch
mention
in it.
Lex stirring the tea with Lana. You didn't mention that.
Oh yeah, with Lana and Clark. That was the pot of tea right there, and he was sipping it the whole entire time through the window.
It's true. I didn't have anything to add to that. So we cut to the Clark and Lana right there sitting in a limousine. What do you do when you're sitting in a limousine? Card tricks, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, here, pick a card, any card. And I'm expecting like, okay, so he's gonna like quickly look and see or like get the card and like shift through all of them until he finds her card or something, right? Like, that's what I was thinking. No. What does he do, Maggie?
He uses freaking X-ray vision.
Freaking laser beams.
And it doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. If you have a freaking card on you while you get an X-ray, it's going to go straight through because it's paper.
It is interesting that he could see the opposite side of the card, but not the...
Did it make it reading? Like, did it flip it around? Like, or was it still backwards?
Huh? Like
so like when
he saw through it?
Yeah, like when he saw through it, did it flip it?
I think it looked correct. Like, I think it was backwards. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe so.
Remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I sat there and I said, it doesn't work that way.
And then Lana's like, I haven't been in a limo since Nell got us this limo.
To go to the ballet.
To go to the grave for my
No.
parents. It's to the funeral. And it was a good day. She gave me a necklace and she said, if you ever defy me, I'll put you 6 feet into the ground. I'm down. No.
You're making Nell look like she's the one that caused the meteor to fall on him.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't put it past her, okay? I think Nell saw the meteor coming. She could have said, move, and she didn't.
I'm sorry. They just stood there and smiled at it. It's their own dang
fault. How'd she get that business, huh? Life insurance.
Sure you had the business.
Life insurance.
Sure you had the business. Sure you had the business.
Insurance. And then she's got Lana cleaning the basement, right? While the two sisters go off and dance with Prince Lex, okay? So we move on and now we're at the torch. Okay, and Chloe's like, Sean, is that you? And she looks outside and there's all the kinds of
flower petals.
And I'm thinking like, okay, Sean is freezing to death. And like Chloe's alone, but instead of just going up and stealing her body, he's going to trick her into thinking he's doing something good so that he can like date rape her, right? Like that's kind of what he's doing. Like let's call a spade, right? Like this is definitely a very like we'll get into what all this imagery is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
But I mean like it's not good, right? It's obviously not good. So then on the way in the limo, Clark turns on the TV.
It was a TV?
Yeah, it was a TV. Back when you could get, over the air channels.
Oh, those were the days.
Perfect quality, pristine quality. And they find out, the woman that Sean was with was dead?
Jenna.
Is that who died?
Yeah, they found Jenna dead, yeah.
And so he's like, I got to warn Chloe, but I can't tell Lana. And he's like, Lana, trust me, just stay here. And where does he drop her off at? The coffee shop. She's 2 for 2 at this dang coffee shop. Just guys just leaving her left and right. And she's like, I just wish I had a good book. And so Clark runs off to the torch where he sees Chloe by the pool. And Sean's like, Chloe, I'm cold. And she's like, no, stay back.
No, stay away.
And does he throw her in the pool? Or
no, she falls. She falls in the pool.
And tries to swim away.
Yeah.
And then he freezes the pool. And her leg's stuck.
Yeah.
And then before we move on, we cut back. Lana and Pete are at the coffee shop. And Pete's like, where's Clark at? And she's like, I don't know. He said he had something better to do. And he's like, well, for Clark to leave you, it had to be something very important. She's like, what? Clark
there's nothing. In Clark's little world, there's nothing more important than Lana Lang.
Bingo, bango, bungo.
And she kind of went, huh?
Yes. And so then she's like, Pete, why don't y'all take a limo? I ain't gonna need it, apparently. That may be.
Why don't you take you and your friend, or you and your date? And he said, that's my friend.
So then Clark and Sean, I just have electric wrote down here. So I guess Clark saved Chloe.
Yes.
Pulled her out of the pool.
And pulled her out of the pool.
And then Sean, like, he's staying with Chloe, making sure she's okay. And while they're doing that, Sean's ran away. Now he's at, like, some electrical plant. And
yes.
he grabs these things. And he's like, ah! And so now not only is Sean cold and has ice powers.
He's electrified.
He has electricity powers. Now also didn't make him not cold. No. Like, he has electricity in his veins, but he's still freezing. But now he can also shock people, apparently. So then Whitney shows up at the coffee shop, and she's like, Lana, Lana's like, Pete, take the limo. I don't need it. Whitney, will you take me home? He's like, what was you doing here anyway, Lana? And she's like, you were out with your friends? No, I was out with my friends. It's like, you weren't going to tell me about Clark after 25 years? And then Whitney's
Coach?
like, maybe. I mean, who knows, And so they're driving. He's like, holy shnikes, it's Sean. And he, dives into a ditch, right? And then Sean's there, and he's like, oh, my God, we got to get to the Luthor mansion. So they go off hiking in the woods, trying to get away, because after wrecking another vehicle.
Yes. God, Whitney, quit wrecking cars. Jeez.
The only thing that happened was Lana's ankle was twisted. So, of course, they make it over
somehow
to the Luthor mansion, right? And then here's Lana.
Into a ditch, she twists her ankle.
And then Jonathan and Martha are like, well, where's Clark at? And she's like, huh? And it's like, oh, boy.
Oh, no, he didn't know it was Clark up until that point. And that's when he's like, because she kept on saying, I was with a friend. That's what she kept on telling him.
Leave it to Martha.
And he's like, in that truck ride. In that truck ride, he said, what's wrong with you? Is this one of these things that you're just not going to tell me about?
Is it a test?
Is it a test?
Yeah, Whitney, God, he sucks.
And then when they get to the Luthor mansion, that's when Martha drops the bomb. She's like, where's Clark at, Lana? I thought he was with you.
And then at this point, all the electricity in the city has gone out because of Sean.
Yeah.
And so they've got the backup generator, but then the backup generator starts going down. And Martha's like, well, I'll go check it. And everybody lets her. For whatever reason. I don't know why, but that's what they do.
Martha can hold her own. She about chopped Lex in half with the chainsaw.
That's true. And so at some point, Sean had actually electrocuted and froze Clark.
Yes. At the truck.
Yeah.
Because he found Whitney's truck and he was worried about Lana.
And so then Sean's like, I can smell Lana or something. I don't know. And so he makes it to the Luthor mansion. And he's still in the electricity. And then Clark's like, crown's mine. And then he unfreezes. He unfreezes and he's like, oh my God, I'm alive. I'm invincible. And he goes to fight Sean, and then they tussle back and forth.
Yeah, but at one point, Sean has a hold of him and goes, like a Sanderson sister from Hocus Pocus.
Nailed it.
I just breathed all over this mic. Okay. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I think it's funny. So then he saves Martha. He's like, your mom's hot. And it's like, you're weird, Sean. You're just weird.
Sean. What
and so
the
Clark
heck?
Throws him into the lake. Because I guess there's a lake there.
Yes.
Is it still Crater Lake?
No, it's not Crater Lake. This is a different lake.
So,
Lex doesn't live in a state park, man.
I mean, you never know, right? It's a castle. And so Sean falls in and he accidentally freezes the lake and dies. Again, Sean is the partaker of his own demise.
Yes.
as all Smallville villains are.
Yes, and so he's froze over in the lake until summertime.
So, yeah. So, we go back to the farm, and Lex is there. And Lex is like, Mr. Kent, I heard you took out a loan. Why didn't you come with me? He's like, because, Lex, when you've heard horses scream like I have, you learn to know where you stand as a man. When you're staring eye to eye with a screaming horse, you know you want to know where you stand. And at least with the bank, I know where I'm standing. I don't trust you, Lex. I don't trust you. And Lex is like, I just want to do good, but you won't let me do good. Dad, you have no idea what I'm capable of.
Oh, God.
And then he leaves, right? And you do have to wonder, like, would Lex have been a good man if people had just let him be a good man instead of force him to be bad? That's a conversation for another time. So we go back to the school. Chloe's at school, and they're paying their respects. We first thought to Sean, but it was actually to the
I was very upset. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. It better not be to that piece of crap.
Yeah, Sean was awful. And so they're like, well, it looks like we're all 0 for 3. And Pete's like, not me, I got another date. Nah.
Yeah, with the different girl, the way he makes it sound like.
It's like, we got in the back of the limo, we ate the fish fillet, if you know what I'm saying. And they're like, what are you talking about, Pete's like, don't worry about it. You'll know one day, Clark. Pats him on the back, and then he leaves, right? Clark sees Lana. He's like, Lana, I'm real sorry. I'm real sorry about...
I had to go help a friend.
Say what he was doing. I don't think.
I thought he did.
Maybe he did. I don't know. And Lana's like, it's okay. You know, I realized to talk to Whitney, shouldn't have been doing it anyway. But I look forward to us being just friends. And then Lana shuts her locker and all the... What?
He asked her a question.
Maybe we should try it again someday. Or try it again. How about tonight?
Why Whitney?
Does he ask her that?
Yeah, he says, why Whitney? And she says, because he's always there for me when I need him. And I'm like, girl, he went and rescued somebody.
We started the episode with him literally not being there. Like, that's where we started it.
And I'm just like, no, he's not. He's conveniently there for you.
It's true.
No.
And then, so, you know,
freaking Clark saves people's lives.
Welcome to Smallville, Maggie. The show where Clark always picks the better road for others, but not for himself. All right. And because he does that, he ends up having to pay the ultimate price of happiness. All right. You just get ready, because this episode ends with Clark standing in the middle of the school. We got Jules singing her little song. And, you know, we just see Clark alone. And that's going to be a lot of episodes. It's going to end with Clark being alone. We're back. Sorry about that. You may have noticed a little jump cut there. The camera had fun for us, so we had to cut that out. Anywho, so you see Clark standing there alone, right? And that's the way a lot of these episodes are going to end. We got a soft pop rock song, a soft pop song playing, and we just see Clark miserable. Okay? Because apparently being Superman means you gotta be miserable your entire freaking life. Can I just say, that's one trope of like the early 2000s superhero stuff that I'm glad is gone. Like, I hated feeling bad for people with superpowers. Like, I get it, and it's a great dramatic trope, right? But like, dude has superpowers. Like, it'd be nice to feel happy for him, you know, instead of everybody being like, I can swing from webs, but I can't deliver a pizza. So anyway, so yeah, the end. Maggie, here we are again. We've finished the episode. Where would you say this episode falls in your list of episodes?
I think maybe right behind Hothead.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You liked it better than Flana?
Yeah.
Okay. I could see that. So, actually, let's go ahead and... sorry, let's get into the Freak of the Week.
Major Funky.
Major Funky. It makes me laugh. Alright, Freak of the Week, Sean Kelvin, a.k.a. Heat Sucking Horn Dog.
That's what Petey names him.
So Heat Second Horn Dog has freeze powers and electric powers.
Sounds like a Pokemon.
So I looked it up. There actually isn't a lot of ice electric Pokemon. I thought there was a lot more, but at least not any from Gen 1, Gen 2. I digress. So current ranking of the Freaks of the Weeks. Yeah. At number 1, we have Coach. Number 2, we got Tina. Number 3, Freakazoid. And number 4, Bug Boy. So
Tina,
where would we put Sean, Heat Second Horn Dog? I think Coach is still better.
Coach is still better.
Tina.
Tina.
What's your glitch, Clark?
What's your glitch, Clark?
I mean, Sean sucks too, though. Like, here's the thing. Sean sucks. All right, he's not great. Like, his abilities are confusing. And here's the thing. Okay, we said we'd talk about this a little bit. If each episode is supposed to be about like a different thing, right, to learn about, right? Like Buffy, the demons were high school things, angst that you had to deal with, right? Well, in Smallville, the Freaks of the Week typically define a piece of high school stuff that you have to deal with, right? Teenage stuff that you have to deal with, typically. Now, obviously, it's not always. So I feel like with this episode, I guess what they were trying to say is that Sean is supposed to represent men like only wanting one thing from girls.
Only teenage boys only want one thing.
Yeah.
And only one thing.
And that's literally physical.
Yeah.
Like he wants their body so that he can not freeze to death. Right. Even with Pete saying, Heat Second Horn Dog plays into that. So I mean, obviously it's supposed to be in like a sexual kind of trope, right?
Well, the best way I think to rank the Freaks of the Week is which one of them has, like, Coach, his powers, straightforward, okay? I think. Well, he had pyrokinesis, apparently. He could pray and the fire would show up.
But he couldn't, because he couldn't really, like
it didn't come, no.
Yeah, it wasn't like the fire guy from X-Men.
No. Tina, she could shapeshift. She could be anybody.
Always wanting to be someone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Freakazoid.
Grass is always greener, right?
Freakazoid,
I don't even know. That was
no.
plot.
Well, I'm just saying, electric powers,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And coma.
Coma was a part of the powers.
It was a part of it because remember he didn't age.
I'm not even going to talk about Bug Boy. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. I think
the way I look at it is the horn dog.
Yeah. Heat Second Horn Dog.
His powers, like you said, are confusing because at one point he's just sucking the heat out of people and then magically he gets electric powers.
That's true.
So
it's like they didn't have enough for the ending. They're like, well, I gotta soup this up a little bit.
he absorbed electricity, so he's got electric powers.
But he's still cold.
Yeah. So the way I look at it as, this is just me, I think he should be number 3 after Tina.
After Tina, but above Freakazoid?
Yeah.
I agree. I was going to say, he also gave us a Chloe-centric episode.
Well,
so, I mean,
that's true.
That's always a plus. Let's top him in. Sean. Heat Sucking Horn Dog. All right. Next week's is going to be fun. What if I told you there was more than one Freak of the Week next week? But you'll have to wait and see. All right. Going into the next segment. No flats, no tights. Did they break the rule this week?
No.
Did they?
There were no tights. There were no flights.
I mean, Sean did kind of go sailing off into the...
No, he threw them. That was not flying. So, no. Okay.
I'll give you that. I agree. Most of the time it's going to be a no. But every once in a while. DCU references. Clark, you're part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
You become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it.
So we've got Chloe at the beginning asks if Clark is from an ice planet. truth is, he is kind of. Krypton is depicted as ice or crystal-like in Superman the movie, and in other variations of Superman. They kind of go back and forth. DC Comics kind of held on to it a little bit because the movie did so good, but of course, Man of Steel and Superman Birthright kind of fixed some of that. So kind of. I feel like that's definitely a nod to that. Even if it's not ice, because Marlon Brando never looked cold, but everything looked like it was ice. But so I think it's supposed to be more crystal, and there's crystal technology and the Antarctic and all that stuff. But anyway, also Chloe tells Clark that blue is a good color on him. Superman obviously wears blue. And lastly, the Radiohead concert was in Metropolis. I feel like every episode they've mentioned Metropolis.
Yeah, they have to beat it into our brains that this is about Superman.
It's true. I just didn't remember that. Like, there are very specific things that happen about Metropolis later on in the series. I mean, even as soon as like season 2. And like, I remember thinking that was a big deal. But like now kind of rewatching, it's like, well, they've mentioned Metropolis literally every episode. They always are mentioning Metropolis. Yeah. So it's just kind of interesting. All right. The Talon Mix. Remy Zero.
Hey, I like these guys. Yeah. Remy Zero.
We start off the party with Rescue by Eve 6. There's your classic. Standing Still by Jewel.
Am I standing still?
Man,
Still
what
a good jam.
What a needle drop.
I mean, you were just like, what?
Dude, that ending, like where, you know, they just play that's what the WB is good at, man. Like, sometimes their stories got a little messy, but they knew how to make a musical moment in shows. Even if it didn't make a lot of sense, you know? I love it. Was Joel the one that yodeled?
Yeah.
Thought so. All right. Despite the plot involving a Radiohead concert, no Radiohead music is played.
No. Why? Why would you throw in Radiohead and not give us Radiohead?
Like, they gave us Joel. They didn't give us Radiohead.
I'm not mad about the Joel thing. Like, that was a good song.
Like, why name drop
Radiohead? Why? Why would you do that? Like, I got super excited. I'm like, oh, alternative rock, yes. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Not even Creep.
No.
Yeah. And that would have been perfect for Sean. He was a creep. Yeah. Next time on Smallville, episode 6, entitled Hourglass. Hourglass.
Wait, does somebody go back in time?
No. This is actually one of my favorite episodes. Yeah. I'm going to make a list throughout our run of these of like my favorite episodes. And like when I'm not going to list every episode and put them in order. I'm not going to do that.
No.
But like when one pops up that I'm like, oh yeah, this is one of my favorites, I'm going to rank those.
Okay.
So this is one of my favorites. This is a good one. There's some good stuff in this one, especially near the end. I think we all know.
He shouldn't tell me anything about being his favorites. I'm just gonna crap on it the whole time.
That's fine. Hey, you know what? You won't be able to. It's that good. All right. I'm not gonna tell you anything.
I'm just joking.
At least
you know
I think this is the right one. I could be wrong. Next week we'll find out if I was thinking of the right one or not. Maggie, any other thoughts on Smallville? I think we got everything.
No, we got everything.
Mention all the notes. Yeah, what phone did Sean call? Actually, I didn't say this. I love seeing the Kents happy.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Like, there
when
were
all
some
three
family
of them,
moments, and like I missed that.
They were happy and laughing and smiling.
Because that's part of it. Like, the past few episodes have been really funny about Jonathan Kent, you know, and you know,
Jonathan.
But like when I think back about Smallville, I think about the closeness of Clark and Martha and Jonathan. Like, they're all always very close to each other, and so it was just really nice in this episode to actually see them showing a bit of that, you know. I know you can't do it too much, especially early on, because they're trying to show like, hey, this is a teen show, and teens don't like their parents. Parents just don't understand.
Teen boys don't like their moms.
Yeah. But I really liked that. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up for us. Anything else you'd like to add, Maggie?
No.
All right. Will we wear these shirts next time?
No.
No, we won't?
No.
Gosh. Hey, if you're watching us on Patreon, stick around. We got the post show for you. Everybody else, thank you for
Get
watching.
out of here.
Got you threw me off. Everybody else, thanks for watching. And as always,
Have a hopefully awesome day.
bye.